This is Sizzle powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios here in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. Here is your host of Sizzle Karen Dougherty.
I always kind of wonder how you're going to say my name every week. You have you have yet to say Dougherty.
Ooh, I am losing my voice. You can hear it in my voice a little bit.
I can hear it. I can. Okay, I'll get right down to it. I'm super excited. Like I say, every week, especially when I have a guest. And I have a guest this week.
Our first repeat guest.
I know. And I'm really excited.
Am I really?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I did that on purpose because you were kind enough to come and speak with me about barbell saves, which obviously is very important to both of us. And I really enjoyed that time. And that was the responsible thing for us to do. But here's the thing. I didn't get to ask any questions that I wanted to ask. So I was like, God, I wonder if Tammy would come back and spend a little more time so I could ask some of the fun questions. And not that barbell saves isn't fun. Right. It is. Yeah. It's amazing. It's wonderful. But I'm curious as another female athlete, and Steve being a male athlete is curious too. I think anybody and all of my friends, anybody that goes to CrossFit is curious about just some trivia kind of stuff, right? Because we didn't get to go and you did, my friend. Yes. And I'm so, I gotta say, to introduce Tammy Saunders, she was on our podcast maybe a month ago, and she works at the CrossFit gym, Barbell Saves in Phoenix, Arizona. It's an amazing program that they have going for people in recovery. And I had just been following Tammy on social media. I stalk quite a few girls. I'm kind of a weirdo on social media, but I'm not silent. I go in and I talk to them and I make friends. I really do. And Tammy, I reached out. Now, granted, I had the barbell saves to kind of cushion me in and get me in.
That was the hot topic. That was the big thing we wanted to learn more about.
I lucked out there, and so we had that in common. But I followed Tammy because I'm into athletics, and Tammy is very, very successful at CrossFit. Very good. She's in the master's program. She's done very, very well. And I fear that I wanted to say some of this stuff prior because sometimes my guests are humble. And it's kind of funny because I'm not, but that's probably why I'm not as good of an athlete, because I'd be a pain in the ass. So it's kind of cool, but I want to ask some fun questions, and I want to talk about you. And briefly, because we went over some of your personal stuff and your journey in the first podcast. So I kind of don't want to make you have to repeat all that, but you can just briefly go over how you got into athletics and CrossFit. I know your brother was kind of a push into that. So if you could just go over that a little bit in case people didn't hear the first one.
Yeah. So I kind of stumbled back into athletics when I was really young, maybe second grade to 6th or 7th grade. I did gymnastics and tumbling. I was pretty good at a lower level, but I had some success. But it's an expensive sport, and my family, when you start to get into that higher level, like club gymnastics or club ball, it's a little expensive. So I kind of, just went in a different direction. I stopped doing gymnastics. Still loved tumbling, but was not by any means an athlete. Fast forward to, I was 43 when my brother would not shut up about CrossFit. He found CrossFit and many people, he was on fire for it. I would later find out that that is just like a side symptom of being a CrossFitter, right? Like when you find something that works, you really do want to share it with everybody. And he felt and saw the transformation in his own life. And he loved me enough to not stop harassing me. And then my daughter wanted to try it out. And so she wanted to try it. So my daughter, my brother's daughter, and myself, we all went to our first little introduction class. And
oh my gosh.
When the very first time I went, I watched the people, laying around on the floor afterwards, and they were totally spent, and it looked harder than anything I've ever done. But there was this sense of something. They had this, I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was. And I don't know if it was purpose. I don't know if it was health. I don't know what it was, but they had this something that I thought, I don't know what that is, but I want that. And I'm not going to stop coming back until I get it. And I just never stopped showing up, which is just weird. Like I just kept hanging around, and I was terrible. I was not good. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I was like crazy disordered eating. Like I lived on Ruffles potato chips and French onion dip and licorice. And like, I didn't do anything that athletes do. Like that was not who I was. But I made some good friends, right? I found a social circle. Yes.
Quickly.
Yeah. And I just kept showing up. And I don't know. I don't believe there was a specific time when I said, I want to go to the CrossFit Games until really like much later in my CrossFit career. I didn't even really know what the games were when I started. I knew a little bit what the Open was. Yeah.
I remember not knowing any of that stuff. And it always, like you just kind of like showed up like you did. I just really dug it. I thought it was cool and it was hard. And I like to do hard things. And it was just, and the people were so cool. And they were like, I'm kind of a little quirky, I feel like. And I didn't feel quirky in there. I felt like there were other quirky people too, so I felt at home, and I was not sober yet either when I started. So I was like you. I had some bad habits going in there too, but you can still go in there and still get,
I remember my first few months, I was definitely smoking a cigarette or two after class.
I know. I feel like I was too.
Yes,
like
I would. I would not.
That sport, huh?
What's that?
I said there's something about that sport. Isn't there? Like it's drawing some really.
Oh yeah, I worked out. I can have a cigarette and a beer now.
Exactly. I tried not to smoke on my way because I was afraid that people would smell it. I'm like, oh, I better not do that. But when if you're not a smoker, when people are smoking, like you just, I wasn't fooling anyone. And I remember the first day I went in and the coach, the owner of the gym, Phil, he was doing like the assessment, right? Like your health assessment, like the waiver. And he's like, do you have this, like, do you smoke? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, shit's bad for you. I'm like, okay. But that's all he said. He never brought it up again. He didn't lecture me. He didn't say anything.
He didn't judge you.
Nope,
I know. It's so great.
Yes. And at the beginning, I remember early in my journey, one of the workouts, it was just hard. Like I couldn't run. I had no cardio. And I was a kid who ran around all the time. Right? No, I'm like, sorry, I have cigarettes to smoke. But so it was a really hard workout, and it was like 5 rounds. And I remember crying because I was like, this is just hard.
Remember?
And I thought he was going to say, he said, where are you at? And I was like, I'm 3 rounds in. And I thought he was going to be like, all right, finish this round and you can be done. And he was like, all right, we'll get fucking moving. I was like, geez, no, I want to be done. But he didn't lecture me, but he didn't go easy on me. He never, ever let me make excuses for myself. And
that's what you liked, I bet, because that's what I liked about it. I liked it. I had a trainer that was like that. My very first CrossFit trainer was kind of like that. And it is because I only had like the second gym I went to for CrossFit, I only had a year sober. So I was pretty new into it. And I really needed that structure, that
Yeah.
CrossFit does give you. Like if you were late back in the day, if you were late, you had to do burpees.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
now it's kind of not like that anymore, but you know what I'm saying? It's that structure. Like he
Absolutely.
said, like you thought you were getting out of it. And he was like, well, get
Yeah.
fucking moving. And you're like,
Right?
oh, okay. I like it here.
Yes. And for real. And I think that was what I think what I definitely needed the physical fitness aspect. I needed to be healthy for sure. But I think that I was in such a really bad, like I was recently divorced. I was a single mom of 2 kids. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a job that I liked it, but nothing about my life was purposeful. I didn't feel like purposeful. There wasn't anything that I was like, gosh, I can't wait for this. It was like, I was just waiting for the weekend. I was like, it was Groundhog Day, the same day over and over. And I lacked, like, I was a quitter. I didn't know. I was very resilient, right? Like I mistook, I can get through things, kind of hard life. Like we had like adversity as a child, that because I could make it through things, that I could do hard shit, but I didn't. I did hard shit because I didn't have a choice, but given the choice, I would not have done it. CrossFit made me make the choice to do hard shit every day. It wasn't like a circumstantial thing. Well, you can get through it because there's no way around it. It was like, no, you're purposefully showing up, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position and learning some new coping skills and learning how to have a different mindset, learning how to make yourself
think that you are a badass and always kind of were. And that when you got to CrossFit, you were like, oh, these people are going to, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I always knew I was a badass because I went through adversity a lot in my life.
I knew I was tough.
Like I knew, and I'm not talking physical fitness. I should say like badass, more like mental.
Battle tested is the right word.
Yes. And so when you
battle tested,
even though physically you might not have been able to do it right away, you knew that. And then look what it turned out to be. Like that kills me. That's so funny. Like it's not fun. Like I don't mean funny, but like, can you imagine when you were overusing that? If somebody said to you, like if we were partying together and I was like, hey Tammy, check this out. If we quit drinking today, you're gonna go to the games. And you'd be like, shut up.
Right?
No,
for sure.
And it's so cool that we don't know what's down the road for any of us, you really don't. And if you do the next right thing, like look what happened. Tell me, how many cities have you traveled to as a CrossFit athlete?
I thought about that when you shared your notes with me. So I've probably,
and it doesn't have to be that you were competing. You could have been just CrossFitting, like just going.
Probably I've gone to maybe like 6 or 7 states to compete.
Wow.
Or to do things for CrossFit. So some of the competitions I've gone to more than once. So the one I was just at this past weekend in California, called the NorCal Classic. This was my 4th year there.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah. Don't tell the other. No,
you were crushing it.
What I love about it is the guys who run it, Ben and Blair. I like when organizers don't shy away from hard things for masters athletes. I feel like there was a long time where I couldn't wait until I turned like 50 or 55 because competing against 35-year-olds and their weights and stuff like that it was tough. So I remember I'm more skill-based. Like I like muscle ups. I like handstand walks. I like things like gymnastics-y things. And so
gymnastics people are good at CrossFit.
And they don't shy away from it. They will reduce volume. They might reduce, how many we have to do, but they don't shy away from it. And I love it. And it's outside. It's 3 days. It's like a festival. It's dirty and it's gritty and it's old school. And it's that you don't get to know the workouts until the day before the competition starts. So there's like, we're not going to practice workouts for 2 months and then be the best at it. Well, yeah, I bet you are, because you practice for however long. I'm very snobby that way. I really like the old school right? Like the known and unknowable.
Yeah,
like,
they would tell you,
show up and do the shit. And either you
Well,
can or
that's
you
what I
can't
wanted to
adapt.
ask. What it's like to train for something like that, because you guys don't get to know. You could just have to guess like what you're,
Yeah.
what you think they're going to
So,
give you. It's a head game,
yeah.
because I watch them every year just for fun.
Mhm.
But here's what another thing is like I wish there was more footage on the Masters. Like that's who I want to
Yeah.
watch. Of course, I love
Yeah.
the younger stars and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
now that I'm a Masters, like I
Yeah.
want to see more of you guys.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, man, I'm glad I got in with the Tammy,
Yeah.
because now other gals might be willing to talk to me,
I think
because
so, yeah.
they know that they can listen to me and you and know that I'm not
Yeah.
going to say stupid stuff. I mean, I haven't yet.
Well, and I think that, so the first big comp that I did when I moved from Iowa to Phoenix. I had been doing CrossFit for a while. I'd been coaching for about a year and a half. And I was at that place where I was really trying to hope to break into like the next round, like from the open. So at that time it was called the online individual or online age qualifiers. That was my goal. And I moved to Phoenix and someone said, hey, there's this competition called Legends. It's in California. You should check it out. You should do the qualifiers. So I did, and I qualified. And that year they had a broadcast team there. So the guy who ended up becoming my coach, Bill Grunler, Sean Woodland, and Annie Sakamoto, who are like huge names in the CrossFit space, they were announcing that competition. It was all masters. Cool. So every division got announced. And I remember going back home and watching it on TV, and my friends sending me like the clips from watching it. And I was like, oh my God, my idols are talking about me. Like I had an event win and I thought I was the coolest person in the entire world. I was like, they're talking about me. I did that. Like I didn't even like, I would like finished in like 15th place or something, but in an event, I did really well in one of them. And so it was so cool to hear someone recognize all the hard work that you put into something.
That was no kidding. That's why I love doing this. Like you talked about something like how you were never looking forward to anything like in your previous job where you were like, you're just waiting for the weekend. Like this is my favorite. Tuesday nights are my favorite. I love this. I love it. But I've got to do jobs.
Yeah. We got to do stuff that we have to do.
Yeah, I got to do training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Tammy, overall, like with media coverage, I mean, do you think there's a lot of it for the CrossFit games and the tiers, or not really noticeable in your eyes?
So I think that there are some individuals. There's a podcast called Clydesdale Media, and the guy's name, I'm going to butcher his last name. I'm sorry, Scott. I think it's Scott Schweitzer.
Look him up.
Last year, right before the games, the Masters, he went to Birmingham, and they did behind the scenes. He chatted with me several times. He had me on his podcast before the games. He just put kind of like an all call out, like anybody who wants to kind of hop on the podcast. So I know he gave a lot of coverage. So, I mean, I think it's hit or miss. I think that I think every competition wants to highlight what they're doing. And I don't think it's an intentional. I don't think it's a snub. I don't think they hate Masters. I think that it's very expensive to run a live stream. And I think that if we're doing a live stream and we're spending all this money, who's watching it? Like you get 100 viewers or 1,000 viewers. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the investment worth it?
Right. And that's why these podcasts are kind of fun to do. At least
they really are.
Our voices get out there, because that's why I wanted it. Like one of my friends was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, just because I wanted to have a voice, and I wanted other in the fitness and coach street don't just run around in tights and have a good, like we're educated, we're smart, we train hard, we eat, we're very dedicated people. There's a lot to us. So that's why I really wanted to do it. And I love CrossFit. So with the games coming, And then
Yeah.
I lucked out and I got to be friendly with you through social media. I love social media for that.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
What kind of food when you guys are at the games, do they
Yeah.
have, like, how does that work? Is it, you guys are just on your own, obviously, but how does that work?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because when I first started watching the CrossFit games, I am from Iowa and the games were in Madison. And so I would go, it was an hour away. I would go and watch them. And I had some friends who competed in the Masters division. So it was really cool that I got to see people kind of closer to my own age. And I had this idea of what it was going to be like to go to the games, like the pomp and circumstance. And it was going to be this big pageantry. And I remember watching them all come out in their like little gear and all this stuff. And Alabama, it was an amazing experience and a lot of really good things. I love Joe and Bob, who took over the Masters part of the CrossFit games. They're the ones who did the Legends competitions. I love them. Great guys doing amazing things for our space. But I think for me, the things that were missing were the specialness of it, like having that like opening ceremony and having more of that. This is a really special moment and it's not for everybody. Like you earned your spot and we really want to showcase you. And I felt that was lacking a little bit, but I mean, I'm a 55-year-old woman, so I'm just happy to be there. Right. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person who gripes about everything.
I so agree with that. Oh.
So I think that it was their first year. I think that they did what they could do, right? It was like, I don't know.
Do they do more of that now?
I don't know. I only made it 1 year. So
I wonder if they have an opening ceremony. That's important.
I don't know. And like I said, I was really basing it off of the game. So when I went to watch the games, that's what I remembered, being out in the field and like having everybody come out and getting to see the different, like the teens and the masters and like just all the people. It was like this celebration of fitness at every level. And so I'm really old school. And like, I believe when they say CrossFit is for anyone, like anyone can do CrossFit. And so when we say that, but then we only highlight certain groups, it feels like that's kind of what we say, but is that really what we do? Now, again, I'm not slighting anybody. I don't know that I could do anything better, but that's just feedback I have, where what I witnessed as a spectator didn't kind of match what I felt as a competitor. And but that aside, one of the coolest experiences I've had in my life. I can't tell you how amazing it was. Like, when you make it, like I made it, like this is what I was
don't like. I haven't really felt that yet, but I mean, I have in some things, but no, I shouldn't. Yeah, like I guess I've had that feeling, but not like that. Like I'm sorry, I think the CrossFit games are not something I'm gonna like.
Well, one of the stages. So it's the regular 3 workouts, and then it's the what is it after that? It's regionals or like individual qualifier.
Yep.
Then
so
regionals.
For masters, it's kind of changed a little bit.
Right.
So last year it was the open, which was the 3 workouts, and then the next round was called the online age qualifiers.
The online
and
qualifiers.
That was five workouts, I think. It was like a handful.
Oh, you got to do 5 workouts. Okay.
And then, so from the open last year, it was the top 25% in the world got an invite. That top 25% did 5 workouts. And from those workouts, the top 200 went to the semifinals.
Okay.
From the semifinals, the top 30 went to the games.
Wow.
Okay.
So it was 4 stages. This year, it was a little different. This year, it was the open 3 workouts, and then it went right to semifinals, which was 4 or 5 workouts. And it was the top 10% or no, top 200, top 2% or top 200. I can't remember. And then the top 30 went to the games. So it was only one after the open. It was 1 stage this year. And if you made it, you went to the games. If you didn't make it, have fun, kids, your season's over. So for me, it was a have fun. Like I said, top 30 made it this year. I finished 38th.
Oh, wow. You were that close.
I was close. I was like 9 points out.
Wow.
And I love it because you get to know the women in your age group. You get to know, like, there are some amazing, amazing athletes. Like some of these women they're just,
I bet the stories are amazing. Just like your story is amazing. I bet their stories are amazing too.
There are. Because, you think about like the younger kids who are doing it, it's their career, right? That's all but like their job is to train and to eat right and to recover and to do all of that. Most masters, most of us, we're working jobs. We have kids, we have spouses, we have all of this stuff, and we're training for this big opportunity. So it's definitely a balancing act. I think for me, the last couple of years being in a gym full time has really given it was like the little recipe for success that I needed. Barbell really did allow me. They knew I was making a run at it, and they were very accommodating. Like, I don't know any other job that would have been like, okay, you can train for 3 hours in the morning at your job and then jump in and do what you need to do. And so they were, it's mutually beneficial, right? To have a games athlete on your training staff is really, really good for them. And it was really beneficial to me. So I don't know if I was in the public sector doing some, like an office job or working at a school or in a hospital, that I would have had the time to dedicate to really building. So in the last 4 years, I've been able to.
Telling me it takes 3 hours. Like, you guys are training 3 hours a day in some sessions.
So when I started, so I up until 4 years ago, I did class workouts. I did a CrossFit class. That I didn't have a coach. No one wrote special programming for me. I just went to class, and I had a pretty good base built. When I first moved to Arizona, I worked at a gym, and there was a young guy who was a semifinals athlete, really good athlete at our gym. And he was my coach and started writing more competitive programming for me, like more intentional. Like, here's what you need to work on.
So you were really just doing classes. That's so.
I was
that's really cool.
So when you look, Karen, until the year before, I think until anything pre 2021 was back in Iowa, and that was all classwork. That was nothing special. I mean, I'd mess around after class. I do, you know what I mean? Like, play around on my own, but it was just classes. I did CrossFit 6 days a week. That was it.
Wow.
I didn't do anything special.
Were you always like lifting really heavy? Like, you've got a 155 snatch. Like, that's heavy.
Oh,
like,
me? No. Oh, no, I don't know. No, I don't have a 155 snatch.
I must have looked it up wrong. I do that. Why do I make so many mistakes? Darn it. Because I was like,
oh God, I wish.
Damn.
No.
I must have read that wrong. I apologize then, because I was like, wow.
I'm like, God, you think I'm really Superwoman? I mean, I'd like to claim that. No, my snatch these days is like maybe a 105, 110. I think lifetime is 120.
But still, that's a lot.
For me, that's good.
Still a lot. Yes. Like, what I do? Like a 15-pound bar with 2 10s on the end, and I call it a day. What would that be? Like a little over a bar weight.
Like 35, 45 pounds.
That's what I have
do. Hey, they're hard at the end of the day, people.
They are. And I have like weird specialty things that I can do. When you're like just good at certain things for no apparent reason. In an overhead position, I think maybe because I like to be upside down a lot. So like overhead squats, I have like compared to my snatch, I have a really good overhead squat. I have a really stable overhead squat. And that's great,
because that's not a popular one. You know what I mean? A lot of women struggle with that one, with the overhead.
I have a 200-pound strict press, and no one can touch that, I feel like.
No, you're not lying. You're not lying. You got me beat any day of the week. But jerking, I like all of the overhead stuff.
I was going to ask you, what's your favorite move?
My favorite,
when they had that today. Clean and
yes, I do like clean and jerks. I do like anything overhead. So I really like jerks and I really like overhead squats. I am a fan of I really like burpees. I'm really weird that way. I used to hate
I'm really
them.
good at burpees, I hate to say. I was late a lot. I had a lot of practice.
You know, if you can embrace them, it makes everything.
Yeah.
If you can embrace them, it makes everything a little easier.
Yeah, exactly. So when I first started at my CrossFit gym, there was a girl who went there and her name was Sheena. And I remember early on, I was watching her one day after class and she was doing burpees and there was someone there watching her and counting and maybe videotaping her. And I was just like, I don't even know what this is. Like, what happened? Why is she, why are they making her do right? So afterwards, I said to my brother, what is going on? And he said, well, Sheena used to smoke. And today is her 1-year anniversary of not smoking. So she's doing a burpee for every day that she's been smoke-free for a year. And that day I said to myself, if I can ever get to be, because I was still smoking. It was that early in my CrossFit career.
That's cool that God put that in your life and it would help you quit smoking.
I said, if I can ever quit, I'm going to do that. So on my 1-year anniversary, I did 365 burpees after class. And then when COVID hit and everything was shut down, for the next anniversary, I was like, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe it was like my 8-year anniversary. And I was like, I'm going to do 8 years worth of burpees. And it ended up being like 163 burpees a day for a month. I don't know, some crazy thing like that. And then last year I decided.
I bet your arms were rocking.
Yeah,
my arms look so good when I do a lot of burpees, push-ups. I was late to class and we used to have to do burpees, 3 for every minute.
We used to do 1,000 every March, just extra non-workout counted burpees on your own.
Yeah. And burpees are good. I'm good at them too.
Which is a good workout if you ever out there.
183 a day. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. So last year I did it. I set out a goal for myself and I was like, I'm going to do 100 burpees a day.
I was following you. I saw it.
I did. I know. I was.
That's so
funny. And people would be like, oh, we did them in class. And I'm like, they don't count. Class burp. I made a weird rule that class burpees don't count. My workout burpees don't count. I had these weird rules for myself. I'm kind of a head case. I mean, really.
That's why I like CrossFit. It's full of head cases. There's tons of us in there. And so that way you can always feel accepted there. It's really cool. Like there's OCD, there's perfectionism, there's all kinds of
all of it.
Really hardcore competitive, but most of them are competitive with themselves. They're not the kind you see a lot of that because I am too. I mean, I act like I'm like I might do a 35-pound snatch or 45 I get up to, but it's good. It's a good one. That's the thing. If I start getting too heavy, I'm not I'll get hurt probably, but I try and do my lifts now because I'm 59 this year and I have been hurt and I am pain free right now. And so I love it. And I know, right? Isn't it? It's great. And I want everybody to feel like that. So I just really keep my weights lower and, but you know what, you guys, even though I'm keeping my weights lower, I'm hitting a lot of PRs because I am really working on doing things like perfect. Like I want my form to be perfect and like clean and jerks today. Like I love doing those and I love just getting inside my head and really doing them like the body, like pulling in your pelvic floor, pulling in your like your abs or your pelvic floor, behind your belly button, underneath your ribs, you know, like really working the body like the machine it is so fun to me. And nothing's better than clean and jerk snatch is a good one for you know, body mechanics.
Yeah.
But
I think there's something so powerful about jerking a barbell. I mean, I don't know. I always feel like I had a lady in class say that. She goes, I just feel like Wonder Woman when I throw this weight over my head. I'm like, yeah, it's really empowering.
I do too. Yes, I do too. That's why I think I was attracted to it because I had just gotten sober and I had been using in the beginning of CrossFit. I've mentioned that, but I got sober there and it made me feel powerful that I had conquered that, and it kept me, and I needed hard stuff,
Yeah.
and it got, quite frankly, it got my endorphins high enough where
Mhm.
I felt like I was still getting high. I really think a
Yeah.
lot of it was that.
Yeah.
That's why I like sharing that with other addicts
Mhm.
in the rooms, like, come on,
Yeah.
it kind of gets you that same kind of
Yeah.
feeling, only it's
Yeah.
better and it's good for you. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I was so attracted to the
Yeah.
barbell staves.
Yeah.
Where
I
do
don't
you
think I
guys stay
answered.
when you go to competitions? Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
stay like hotels? It's just normal.
Mhm.
It's just like any other kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
again, I had this whole thing in my head. I had a friend whose son who had made it to the games a couple times, and there's
Mhm.
like the hotel that the athletes stay in, and it's close to the
Yeah,
venue, and it's all that.
right.
Ours was not like that. I mean, when I go to competitions, I stay either at an Airbnb or a hotel. I
Yeah,
usually try to find either like a suite where I can cook food or have
right.
food, like something other than just a hotel room, or an Airbnb. I like this past weekend, there were myself and then two guys from the gym and one of their significant others. And we rented a big house together, rented a
Yeah.
couple cars, and we just kind of
Oh,
like
that's
did it
fun. Yep.
together. Yeah, it
Well,
was
that way you
pretty
can
fun.
cook your own food. That's what I
Yep.
was wondering. Like, what is it
Yeah.
like? Like that's what I would choose to do too. Airbnb
Uh-huh.
rather than a
Yeah.
hotel room, because
Yep.
you want to be able to shop and cook your own
Yeah.
food. How does that
Yes.
work? Like when you're at the games all day, do they have
Yeah.
like vendors and
Mhm.
stuff like that where you guys
Yeah.
can get food, get hydrated, get liquid IV or whatever it
Yeah.
is you need? They have everything there.
So there are vendors there. There are food vendors there. I know I brought my own food, or like
Right.
my workouts were, if I had like my workouts were mostly in the morning time. So maybe a workout and then like 2 hours in between, like, or whatever. Cause it's not like back to back to back. There's some time in between. So it
Do you
really
go to
just
the venue
depends.
to work out? Where do you guys work out at?
Yeah, we work out at the venue, but I'm saying
Okay,
like
yeah.
between your workouts, there's like just sitting around time. So
Yeah.
usually what I do is bring my own food with me to the venue. And it
Right.
depends, like it's not always going to be a full meal. There are places on site where you can get, like there's a couple of different vendors that travel the kind of like the circuit. And so there's one that I love. I'm going to give them a little shout out. God, I think it's called Asian Flavor Punch or Asian Punch Flavor. And they have like really, really good. It's like chicken or beef, and it has rice. It's like, and vegetables. It's really good.
Everything you
It's
need.
clean, very
Yeah.
minimal. It's not really saucy.
Right.
So there's stuff there that you can eat. A lot of
Yeah.
people end up making their own food and bringing their own food.
I would
'Cause we're
assume
CrossFitters
so.
and
Yeah,
we're weird.
because you're
And it's expensive.
regimented.
It's just, right. It's
True
expensive.
that.
And we pay for all of our own stuff. I mean, there are some sponsored athletes. I am not that person. If anybody wants to sponsor
Are there sponsored
maybe
ones, masters? Are there
What's that?
sponsored masters?
I think that there are. I think that I don't know how sponsored they are, but I guess what comes to my mind is like Jason Grubb, who is one of the younger guys. He's a pretty well-known CrossFitter, and I see him. I think
I've heard of
I don't
him.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that he has some sponsorships. I'm going to assume he has a regular job as well. I'm not really sure. I think that you can get endorsements from people, but I don't know if it's like I can live off this and I don't
probably
have to have
not.
a job.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, even
But-
can the young ones? I guess the young ones can.
Oh,
if
the
they
young
get,
ones
like,
have sponsors.
Reebok.
Yeah, they have big sponsors. They have people who, or like a gym or a brand, like they have a team and they have handlers and they have agents. And so, yeah, their literal
wow.
job is to CrossFit and to sell CrossFit
Oh, wow.
products, right? Like supplements and clothing and hydration and all of that stuff.
That's really cool. I didn't really realize that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's big. I mean, it's kind of like a pro athlete, right? Like very similar,
Yeah, I
like
guess.
right? Like you get sponsorship deals and marketers like Noble wants everyone to wear Noble shoes. So I'm going to give them to these 3 CrossFitters to wear and endorse for me.
But Ben here in Chesapeake, he won the fittest man, and he just seems so humble and like. Did he have a
Who
big?
is it?
sponsorship, Ben, he's from Chesapeake. What was Ben's last name?
Ben,
He won
yeah.
a couple years
Why did you
back.
put me on the spot?
Gosh, I can't.
He's in the Masters now at this point.
I don't know.
Is he still competing? But I mean,
And sometimes what people have is like, I have, so at my gym, I have a corporate class.
Smith. How could we both forget?
Oh, I love Ben Smith. Well, Ben Smith
he has around here.
Yes. So Ben has won the games as an individual as well. Yeah. And so, yes, I'm sure that he has sponsorships. I don't know what that would look like, but he also owns a gym. And so I'm sure that there's, you know what I mean? Like the gym is his full-time job. Maybe they did fundraisers. Maybe if you win the games, I'm sure
figured they all had, I figured they all had jobs like Ben. I don't know. Like my grandson from another mother goes to Ben's gym and he's just a normal, regular dude. But he's the fittest man on earth at one time.
I love him. And so here's a thing that really, so I was watching him do the semifinals and they were talking about that lately, that's what he's doing classwork. He's like, I'm doing classwork and I'm doing some accessory stuff on the side. He's not doing special games training. So for him to make it to semis is crazy.
That's what I was wondering. Like, I was wondering how you guys trained. And I guess I'm surprised, but then I guess I'm not. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, some of the stuff at the games, like the pegs that go up and stuff like that, we don't have that stuff at the gym. And there's a lot of sled work. I mean, we have sleds, but that's not really in the workouts at our gym. But that doesn't mean that.
I think for me, I needed more. My coaches and I worked on volume. And getting my body to a point where I can handle a high volume of workouts and be able to recover. So I could do the class workout, I could do the extra stuff, but can I do that stuff each day? Like if I'm going to a competition, am I going to be able to recover? Like what can my body do?
Recovery is so big. Talk to me about that. I'm glad we brought that up because I need to know that. Like, what is your? I specialize in Pilates and Pilates reformer. And what is your mobility program? Do you have one, or do you feel like you're getting you're adding that in your classwork and stuff like that?
Yeah. So, Karen, I will be real honest with you. I am probably the most, I am the most unconventional CrossFitter. I'm terrible. I don't do.
So you're not doing mobility. Is that what you're telling me? Because you're not terrible.
No, I don't.
You're not terrible at all.
Here's what I do. I work out up until probably.
Well, your joints must be healthy.
I try. I don't. I do the workouts that I'm supposed to do. I stretch when I feel like I need to stretch. If I feel like I have a stand-up desk, so I don't do a lot of sitting. On the weekend, like on Sunday, I'm just like kind of chill. I try to walk a lot.
So you rest.
I rest. I do. Sleep is really important. I get up super early. My roommate always laughs at me and she calls me grandma because like it's Arizona. The sun is up until like however late. It's like 7:15 and I'm like, all right, gotta go. And she's like, all right, grandma, see you tomorrow. But I try to get enough sleep. I'm not a perfectionist with my food. For a long time, I was super, super regimented. I wasn't a weigher or a measurer because I have just disordered eating shit.
Right.
And
I understand that.
I don't do food math. So
I get that.
But I
Good
did
for you too.
Completely,
probably not even healthy.
Well, so what I did is I started getting in my journey, I started to get better at CrossFit, but I realized that even though I was getting stronger and I was learning higher skill levels, I wasn't having the physical results, the aesthetic results that I wanted. And I talked to my coaches back home and I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing all the things right. And they're like, let's look at your food. And I kept a food diary. And so he's like, you don't have to weigh anything. Just write down what you have each day. Yeah. I just want to look at it. It was bad. And so I did a food challenge.
My clients. Yeah.
He's like, let's just get real clear about what we are doing so we know where we're lacking. And it wasn't a shameful thing. It wasn't a punitive thing. No. It was like, let's just have a real conversation about like the elephant in the room we're not addressing. Because you're right, you're doing a lot of things right. You've made a lot of really great changes, but you're not like on that wellness continuum. You're still kind of here, and we're trying to get you like move that needle a little bit more. So little changes, just, you know, right, like start you moving. We want to keep that dial going. So I started doing, I did a food challenge, and it was through Healthy Steps Nutrition. It was a plate method about eating enough and eating all like whole foods and getting enough water, all that. I lost, it wasn't necessarily weight, but I probably dropped in the challenge, like in 6 months, probably 10% body fat. I gained a crap ton of muscle. I looked better and felt better than I ever have. And I've just kind of stayed doing that. If I want pizza, I'm going to eat pizza.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm pretty regimented with what I eat. I did a couple years ago, I have I knew I had thyroid stuff going on, but I have Hashimoto's. And so I cut out gluten recently.
Familiar with that.
You are?
I'm familiar with that. Yes, it's been coming into my career I've had a couple clients show up with that. So I was kind of forced to learn about it.
It's wild, because I knew for a long time, like something was going on. I'm like, I just don't feel right. I'm exercising. I changed my diet. I'm still like tired. I'm lethargic, like just all the things. And I struggled. I had a male doctor who was an older gentleman who was like, you're just getting old. And I'm like, I'm 50. Like, this can't be it.
Right.
Like, so anyway, I found a really great nurse practitioner, and she ran some blood work, and she's like, you are like, your thyroid's not working. Like, I no wonder you feel like garbage. So just like really doing more proactive stuff, looking at my own like blood panels and stuff like that. So anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Sorry, my bad.
No, I'm interested. That's important too, because that's the kind of stuff I was interested in. Like what is your eating like, and what is it like to train? I got all these, like, I'm looking through my questions, and I'm like, check. It might not have gone in the order we expected, but like how you trained, everything on where did you stay? Oh, did you find that the audience is the crowd real supportive? Are the other athletes supportive?
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like, so this past weekend, the masters and the teens are probably the least watched.
Right.
But we have a lot of friends and family who will show up and watch us.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that it's the crowd is at the one I was at this weekend, the MCs, like, you get to know them, they learn your journey, and they really made it a point to be like, these are some special people. We have our teens who are just coming into the scene. They're our up and comers. And we have our OGs who have been doing this stuff for a while. And we kept saying to the crowd, can you imagine your mom doing this stuff at 59? Right. Can you imagine your dad doing this at 70? Muscle ups and ring muscle ups and handstand walking and And so super, super supportive. I mean, the community itself is really cool. The ladies that I've met in competing, I have some kind of like you, Karen, how I met them and maybe online, and then our paths crossed in person. And then like, they're the first person when I do a great at an event who are messaging me, who are like, you're crushing it, keep it up, way to represent. And so
they become real friends. It's wonderful, isn't it? I love that.
Yeah,
I love it when you hear negative things about social media. I'm like, not me. Yeah. I'm like making friends on there, and then lots of animals. my thing is all fitness, other women that I stalk in fitness, and not necessarily fitness. I'm stalking this biker girl that kind of got me because my motorcycle was up for sale, and I was kind of like, all right.
I love it. You're such a badass. My motorcycle is up for sale.
And I love this girl. Like, she's got like she's married, and her son rides, and she's in her 50s too, and she's covered in tattoos. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this girl. So I've been stalking her. Yeah. So I actually was chatting with her last night, because I told her, I'm like, you got me riding again. It's not a lot, because it's kind of dangerous around here, but yeah, like I tried to sell my Harley. Nobody wants it. It's too old. And now I might as well keep it. It's not really
Right.
worth anything, y'all. It really isn't. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I'll just ride around the neighborhood or go, like, I don't go really far because I got to stay alive. But it's just really cool to watch her because I think she's in California, so she's in an area where she can ride. Like I know, like I have buddies in Phoenix, they can ride there. There is like this is a touristy beach area, so it's it's not the best for it. But
I feel bad you're by the beach.
I know, right? Like I didn't mean to sound like
I feel bad for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
I know, and we're like a big block away from the beach, but it's close, and the bay is right there. Like this is a very, very pretty city, and so you are welcome to Virginia Beach anytime, Tammy Saunders.
Tammy, we can put you up, Tammy.
We can.
All right, listen, I will come there. There's some competitions there that I've been looking at, like on the East Coast. So maybe you'll see me.
I know, and I want to come to Phoenix too. I'm kind of saddled right now, just with some family stuff, but it's ready to kind of be over. And you're coming to the barbell saves? Are you kidding me? I'm definitely kind of girl.
I would say that our CrossFit gyms around here do a good job of hosting events.
Yeah,
there's definitely
there's
always a Santa Claus one, or like one in the spring.
Well, the Chad one,
summertime,
the Chad 1000 is Sarah Wilkinson. She's from our gym.
Yep,
she's moved on. I'm going to try and get her on this podcast. Actually,
yeah, she would come on. She's very nice. Yep.
Isn't it the Chad 1000?
The 31 Heroes is another one.
31 Heroes is hosted by us in this area. We used to go to New Rome. But we're hosting it this year because he's got 3 locations now, and one of his locations has a really big parking lot, and he's going to host it there. I think. Okay. I mean, that's what I heard.
Interesting. Okay.
That's Andrew Gallego, right? Takeover Athletics. Yep. He's got a great thing going here in Virginia Beach. But there's a lot of CrossFit gyms here that are really great, friendly. It's a great community around here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just thank you so much for taking your time again. And because these are the kind of questions I didn't feel right asking, because we were really hitting on the barbell saves. And so I appreciate you taking some time to
of course.
Let me.
This was fun.
Bend your ear. Yeah, this is fun, isn't it? The athletic part is what we're all in it for. And I do want you to know, like, you guys are really special, because not everybody is cut out the same, and so we need people to aspire just like you guys do too, know. And I appreciate you posting your stuff online, because not everybody does that. I really appreciate that. Like, I got to watch a lot of that. And I'm in class right now with a guy that owns a CrossFit gym from Sacramento. So because of that, I got to have conversation. I was like, I literally even called you my friend. I was like, my friend Tammy was in that.
Oh my God, I love it.
I know, and he was like,
"That's the coolest thing."
I know, isn't it cool? And like, I met the girl that's on next week is she was in a bodybuilding competition the same time you were, and won. And she was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago and never said anything. And so she's coming back on because she's really into peptides and stuff like that. And I don't know much about that, but it was just funny. Like, this weekend was full of my Instagram friends winning competitions. I know, it was really cool. Well, so I appreciate you, Tammy, so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I think it's really important for us.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say, when you were talking about seeing your friends, I think it's important for us to see representation. I think that I needed to see someone who looked like me achieve what I wanted to achieve, to know it was possible. So, and I think that when you find that success, you really do have like a responsibility to like send the elevator back down, help the next person up, lend a hand. Have a conversation.
And be supportive.
Absolutely.
I think it's fantastic. Like, our community of women in fitness is very supportive. Like, my Instagram is mostly fitness women, and everybody is so nice. And that's
Yeah.
why I said, when Steve said this, he was like, I think you should start having guests. I was like,
I love
I
it.
think I can get some really cool ones because I've been stalking
sure.
these girls for like 5 years.
I
They're
love
not
it.
even going to
I
think
love
it's
it.
weird. They're like, oh, it's fit to
No.
be trained.
Okay.
Now you have
Yeah.
a podcast. Okay, what the heck?
I love
Let's
it.
do it. Because I tease. I'm
I
like,
love
I
it.
think I only have like 8 followers, so there's nothing to be nervous about. But
Oh
I
my
think
God, you're
we're
so
actually
fun.
gaining momentum by
Yeah.
having girls like you, Tammy, on. Like, that's so kind of you for me too.
Of course.
Fit for Five.
No,
has,
it's kind of you to invite me.
Well, that's we're
no,
such
really.
typical ladies. We're like, no, you're so sweet. No, you're so sweet. That's how women are, and especially in
Right?
this industry.
Tammy, I was going to
Exactly.
say, during this program, I thought of the name of your podcast, if you were to ever have one.
Okay.
Master Class with Tammy
Oh,
Saunders.
that's
Oh, I
good.
like that. I really like that. Okay,
good,
we have
huh?
to talk. So
See, I'm a good producer.
You
He is a
can
good
be.
producer.
So it is super crazy because I'm gonna bring you over here. My freaking thing is gonna die. Sorry, you're just taking a little ride with me. I didn't think my computer was gonna die. I hope it doesn't. Maybe it won't. So one of my favorite things is talking to people about what I do and sharing my love for fitness. So it is kind of like a master class when I talk to people about it.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
Yeah,
And
it
you're
is.
dissertation on fitness.
We should make it happen.
You make it happen.
We will talk. So
Well,
I'm
thanks
in
so much.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, you're good. You're good.
That
It
got
just means
awkward
we have
for
to
a
have another
second
podcast. So I'll
Well,
just be
I
like
know.
to be yeah. So I have some changes coming up, but when I go through those changes, that we'll chat, Steve, and then it'll be the time will be right to like start my own podcast.
Sounds good. We have each other's emails. We can make that
Okay.
happen for sure.
Awesome.
Well, you have the fun music.
You're a peach.
Yay, I love the fun music.
If we can ever get it to go here. Usually it might take a second. We'll see. There we go.
I love
I
it.
forget where I was, and I heard a bunch of people singing just the other day.
They were
It
singing
wasn't
this?
song. No, it was something else.
Caroline, probably. They sing that all the time.
It was really cool, and it made me think of this.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you.
Have a great
I'll
night.
talk to you guys soon.
All right, Sizzle. Good job. We'll see you next week.
See you, Steve. Have a good one. Oh,